Saving money is difficult. There is always a temptation to spend excess cash sitting in a bank account. I myself, someone who is extremely disciplined with money, still has those exact temptations just like anyone else. Each year, I set myself a savings goal based on my lifestyle and my future goals to avoid falling into the temptation of touching that money. With that in mind, let's see how I did for last year, being 2020. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a self-reflection on my savings goals of last year. This is something that I hope to do in the future, basically do a reflection to gain data and analytics on how I'm tracking to make sure that the goals that I'm setting are not too ambitious, and also to basically see how I tracked basically towards those goals, because I want to know if I am achieving them. Before I go any further, I am going to go into specific details about what I have saved myself, like with actual numbers. And what I just want to say is that everyone's situation is different, and as long as you're making the most of your situation, that is the thing that matters most. This is not a comparison to other people. This is a comparison of how I tracked based on my lifestyle, my current living situation, and my own goals. The things that I'm covering will be my house savings, my emergency fund, and my investments, and I will total them at the end for fun. Let's start with my house account. Last year, I had the goal set to save $500 a week, which would be doing two things for me. The first aspect of this goal is to basically save a large portion of my wage to put towards the next property that I'm going to buy, which will be my owner-occupied house that I live in, hopefully with my partner when the time comes. The second thing that this was doing for me was also putting money into an offset account to offset the interest that I would need to pay the bank for my investment property. I own an investment property and I still owe money on that investment property. So any dollar in my offset account is going to basically save me interest over the life of the loan. So while I'm saving for that 20%, that money is being put into an offset account to negate basically excess money that I need to pay the bank. This year, I saved on average about $850 a week across all of my accounts. From my house account, it was about $690 a week, which totaled roughly $35,900, which I'm pretty impressed with. I think that that's a pretty decent amount of money saved just for that one particular goal. Now, my emergency fund grew at a much slower pace, but this is because I put obviously a lot less money into it, and I already have it at a point where I'm quite happy with the amount that's in there. The thing that I'm really impressed with about this account in particular is that I set myself a rule to put $25 a fortnight into it and be consistent every single time I'm paid to put that money in. I've been fortunate enough now to basically jump a little bit with my salary, so I've increased that number to about $50 a fortnight, making it $25 a week, which ultimately for me has seen it grow faster, but still at a slow pace. On occasion, if I do overtime and I make a lot more money for that pay cycle, I might even increase that number depending on how much, we'll call it excess money, I have access to. At the start of the year, that number was sitting at about the $3,325 mark. Now, if you do the math based on a $25 to $50 contribution each week or fortnight, I should have saved roughly about $650 for that account for this financial year. What I in fact actually did save was $1,075, which brought the total up to $4,400, which, although this wasn't the hardest goal to achieve because it is quite a small number, the consistency thing allowed me to get to that goal of more than $650. So tick, goal achieved regardless. And finally, investments. Now, this doesn't technically count as savings because I spent money to buy something, but the reason why I'm counting it is because I actually purposed my excess bills money for the time being while I don't have other bills on the side, which I've talked about in other videos on my channel. But basically, this excess buildup of money I put towards purchasing with the intent to buy shares and cryptocurrency. And from that, I managed to put $11,000 into the two combined for the year of 2020. The goal that I set was to put a minimum of $5,000 into these investments. So $5,000 into crypto and $5,000 into the share market. I achieved $11,000 this year, which means I put more than what I had intended to put into it, which is a good thing because both of those assets have done well over the year, where I'm actually up quite a significant amount on my portfolios. To break it down more specifically, I purchased $2,500 of VAS, that's the code, it's a Vanguard EFT. I purchased $2,500 of VDHG, which is also a Vanguard EFT, it's a high growth EFT. And I also bought $1,000 worth of a company called SLA, or Silk Laser Clinics. SLA is the code on the ASX. There are reasons behind why I purchased all of these, and I probably will make a video as to my investment strategy and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But for now, that's just the breakdown of what I purchased off of the share market. Now in crypto, I put $5,000 into a cryptocurrency called VeChain, and the code is VET. Again, I am going to make a video as to why I did that. It's a project that I definitely am rooting for. I definitely think that it's a good investment, and I think that it has a lot of potential to grow in the future. And based on cryptocurrency at the moment, look at the charts. I don't think that anyone's going to be disagreeing with what I'm saying, unless it's tanked since recording this video. But realistically at the time, Bitcoin's at an all-time high, and the altcoins, the ones I've invested in anyway, are performing quite well. Same with a lot of the people that I know who have invested in them too. Check out my video on cryptocurrency if it's something of interest and something that you're considering but want to learn a little bit more about. I just do want to mention that investing in the share market and cryptocurrency is never guaranteed to make you money. Do your own due diligence and research. It's something that can potentially go the opposite direction at any moment's notice. With that out of the way, definitely do your research into it, because it also has the potential to make you wealthy over time. So in conclusion, for the year of 2020, starting in January, and with investments aside, we're talking just money in my bank account, I started the year off with $41,368 from the previous year. So coming out of my tracker after I number crunched and put all of the numbers into it, out of December 31st, I came out with a total across all of my accounts in cash, excluding investments and assets. I had $82,494, which saw me saving $41,126 in the year of 2020. As a recap, I saved $35,898 in my house account. I saved $1,075 in my emergency fund, and I purchased $11,000 worth of shares and cryptocurrency combined. Now, to me, I think that that was a pretty good year. As someone who makes a six-figure salary, but not a high six-figure salary, I would call it a very low six-figure salary. I think that is not a bad achievement, considering I have bills and expenses to pay, and I still got to enjoy my year. That is my self-reflection for the year of 2020. I beat my savings goal by about $15,000, so that will set the benchmark for 2021. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a self-reflection of my goals and how I tracked against them last year, with the intent of going forward or moving forward to see how I track when new expenses, bills, and life-changing events basically take place in my life. The video that will tie directly into this one will be what my savings goals for 2021 are, which should be coming out after this video, hopefully. And what I'll be doing in that is basically breaking down and discussing why I'm setting specific goals, how I'm going to achieve them, and why it's important for me to set those goals so that I don't get complacent and fall into temptations and basically just go upgrade my car tomorrow, which I could do, but I understand the bigger picture and don't want to do that. I suggest you set yourself an achievable savings goal for the year of 2021. It's still early in the year and you can definitely do that. If you need a little bit more insight, definitely wait for the video that's going to come out basically talking about why and how to achieve these goals and how to set them appropriately based on the money that you're bringing in. Overall, I know that this is a little bit of a brag, but it's something that I definitely want to come back to and see how I track in the future. That's why I made the video, and lots of people make it, so I don't feel that bad. I'd probably never make a YouTube video if I felt bad about the stuff that I'm talking about. This is kind of like a library of my own life, and you get to see that and hopefully get some insight from what I'm talking about. Overall, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help the channel grow, and I really appreciate the support. And as always, I will see you in the next one.